I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up. So stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
Hello and welcome to the Erica Latrice Show. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. Coming up on today's show, we are talking all things miracles. So if you have experienced a miracle, if you want to learn about how you can read other people who have experienced miracles, then you definitely want to stick around for today's show. In the Be Inspired Cafe today, my special guest is Lauren Hill. She's called the Miracle Mama, and she's talking about an all-new movement that she has launched to help others share the miracles that they've experienced. Per usual, I have the top tips of the day, and these are just short daily messages to help you step out of your comfort zone and start to soar. And as always, I encourage you to join the conversation. Get into the chat. That's all you got to do. You can win special giveaways, prizes, and so much more on the show just by commenting. So when we come back, I will be talking about a little reel in the streets, a video that was so encouraging and inspiring. And then you're going to hear from our special guest in the Be Inspired Cafe. All that and so much more is coming up. So join the conversation, and we will be right back. To soar. If you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com. All right, it is time for our top tips of the day. And today's tip is to start looking for the miracles. Start looking for the miracles. And I think about this because I know that we can go through life and so many things can happen. So many things can be a challenge that we stop realizing the blessings that are around us. We stop being grateful. We stop understanding that throughout each day, some of the smallest things are worth celebrating. So when I think about looking for the miracles, what really comes home to me, what I really think about is celebrating the small things. And one of our guests today, it's really, it was kind of amazing as he shared his story, because when we think about those things that we can take lightly, we think about those people that had a moment to encourage us. We think about those divine steps where we had a conversation that lifted us up. We think about things that we were stressed about months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, that no longer have us stressed. So when you find that you can think about things that used to be a problem and they're no longer a challenge, I am challenging you today to celebrate the miracles. Because when you can start celebrating, I promise you, you will see every day is full of something to be grateful for, to be excited about, and to look forward to. So I'm going to share with you a little reel in the streets. This was just a really beautiful song that someone shared, and I'm just going to shout out the page that shared it. And I want you guys to just listen to this little clip, and I hope that it adds a little encouragement, or a lot, actually. My goal with this show is to add a lot of encouragement to your day. This is our reel in the streets.
And I wanna see I wanna see you. Give us your eyes today, God. Give us your view today. Give us your perspective today. Help us to see through your lens today, oh God. Help us to see that everything is gonna be alright. And I wanna see you. I wanna see. Oh God, say I wanna see. Lift those hands right here. Say I wanna see.
Wow, wow, wow. It's in the simple things, but I really love that because it talks about I want to see you. And that's the page that I saw it from. So you guys can check that link out right there if you want to hear more music and more ministry from there. But yeah, I really want to drive home the point today that a lot of times when so many things are fighting for our attention, so many things are trying to just keep us stuck, we can get distracted. And when we're distracted, it stops us from coming from a place of gratitude, coming from a place of really just enjoying the moment. So when I come back, I will be sharing with you my first guest in the Be Inspired Cafe today. And this person's story was just very, very, very encouraging, heartfelt, and heart-centered. And I want to share that with you in just a second. We'll be right back. Get ready for all new episodes of the Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show. Welcome back. So it pays. Let me just tell you, it pays to join the conversation. So if you're watching live, all you got to do is comment, tag a trailblazer, tell a friend, and I will be announcing a winner today of the 21-day Focus Fast. And it's a 21-day program to help you get focused, to help you start seeing things take place in your life, because I believe that starts with having just a solid foundation. So our first guest in the Be Inspired Cafe is Jesse, and he has such an incredible story of overcoming, getting uncomfortable to see things in your life start to take place. I'm so excited to bring to you our special guest today in the Be Inspired Cafe. Jesse, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm just doing great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you. So can you tell us just a little bit about your story? You have a really incredible book, and it just fits so much with what we're talking about today, experiencing those miracles. So tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, my story is a really long journey that I took. And what happened is when I was 10 years of age, unfortunately, I came down with epilepsy by being hit in the head by playing baseball. And from there on in, from 10 to around 23, I spent most of my life in hospitals, institutions, going into grand mal seizures daily, not expected to live because the grand mal seizures were so severe, they couldn't find a cure, find medications that would control it.
So you're a true, like you're a walking, I said that, but you're a walking mirror. Okay, so it cut for some reason. But if you want to check out Jesse's full story, he talks about going from tragedy. He talks about going from a struggle to literally becoming a millionaire. He was suffering from seizures. And at this present moment, when he's done this interview, he has gone 40 years without having a single seizure. So I'm going to bring up next in the Be Inspired Cafe. She is the founder of Little Miracles Everywhere. This is Lauren Hill, and she calls herself the Miracle Mama, and everyone else calls her that too. So I want you to help me welcome to the Be Inspired Cafe this powerhouse, this movement leader, Lauren Hill. How are you doing today, Lauren?
Hi, Erica. I'm good. I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Yes, well, I'm excited to have you. I know that this is going to be a good message today. I know it because I feel like when things come up and we have to like fight our way to get to the end goal, it's always because there's something powerful at play. So that's what I want to talk about. You talk about looking for the little miracles everywhere. So can you tell us just a little bit about your story and how you got started with this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of an interesting chain of events that happened, but from 13 until about the age of 20, I had experienced a series of traumas throughout my life. And I had always felt very connected to God, and just knowing that this was going to be used for a purpose someday, although I wasn't quite sure what that was. And interestingly enough, every morning I get up at 5 a.m. and I spend a couple hours just in prayer and meditation, kind of setting up my day. And I've been asking God for a while, like, what were all my experiences for? How do I use them to make a difference in the world? And how do I use them to share with people that there's hope for healing, that there's people around that, care about you, and that, you have a higher power who cares about you and will, put things in your path to support you and getting closer to him and closer to people who, he puts around you. And I was in prayer one morning and I just got to start this project, to co-create this project. And it's not just me. I mean, I have to say I have an incredible team. There's just no way we could have done this, launched this project without everyone who's been involved. We have that in itself is a miracle. But quite honestly, God just asked me to go buy this domain name, and I did. And then I prayed about what that was. And this is what came out. What came out was creating a space for everyone to share the miraculous moments in their life.
So I'm really excited because we have Martha who's coming up in just a moment, and she has a story of a miracle too. Will you say, has there ever been a time or a specific experience that stands out to you where you just had that moment where it was like, this had to be God. I know this is a miracle. There's no other way this could have happened.
I literally have hundreds of those. If you'd like, I could tell you about one specific profound one for me. So the night that my grandmother, she was in the hospital, we knew she was going to pass away. We didn't know it was going to be that night, but we did know she was going to pass away fairly soon. And I had gone to meet with a bunch of women for a meditation experience. And I was sharing, well, first of all, there was a woman there that night who had never been there before and was never there after. And I was sharing about my grandmother's passing. And at the end of the meditation, she came up to me and she told me that my grandma was really proud of who I'd become and that she was proud of the mother that I was. And what caught my attention, what really resonated in my soul and gave me chills, was that she called me Sweet Pea, and no one had ever called me Sweet Pea but my grandma. And she said all these very profound things to me about how my grandmother thought about me and felt about me and saw me. And we gave each other a hug and I left. And on my way back to the hospital, my brother called to let me know my grandmother had passed. Fast forward a few months later, I'm sitting on the patio with my parents and my kids are swimming in the pool. And my mom mentions this woman's name, which is a very unique name. And I said, how do you know that person? And she said, the same way you know her. And I said, well, I highly doubt it because my mom never went to this meditation group. And she said, well, I know her through your grandma. And I said, I didn't meet her through my grandma. And what we found out in that conversation is that she had actually cut my grandma's hair for 15 years. So she knew my grandmother and didn't know it was my grandmother. It was just this real moment where a real life angel came in and delivered a message for me. And it was so beautiful and touching.
Let me tell you. So Lauren, I have so many stories like that. And I'm going to share like a little snippet of one. I will never forget. I was at an event. And I'm not going to give you guys everything because I plan to share this down the line. But I was at an event, and the whole topic that I had been talking about was expecting miracles. I had a journal that said expect miracles. I didn't even remember when I got it or how it popped up. And there was this lady named Lotus, and she started talking to me prior to the event. And when I looked up her name, it was unreal, like so many things that were in common with her name. But when I was telling everyone else about her, she was standing at the back of the room. I could see her at the back of the room standing there. No one else saw her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all, this lady, she's this little tiny lady, and I'm describing her. No one else had seen her. So I know that miracles happen. So when we come back, I'm going to bring up Martha Rushing. And we're going to have Lauren here for our final thoughts as well. But before we do that, Lauren, can you tell us just a little bit about little miracles everywhere and how if someone has experienced a little miracle, how can they share that with your new movement?
Yeah. So littlemiracleseverywhere.com is a website with a collection of art pieces, videos, audio, and written stories recounting the miraculous and profound experiences of people's lives. And we invite everybody from every walk of life to come, regardless of belief system, and share what it is that's occurred in your life. And it's so profound to share these moments because what we experience when we talk about our miracles is we experience hope and gratitude within ourselves, and we give hope and gratitude to other people. And this is how we can unify and connect and support one another in times like these and in everyday life.
Yes. So I love it. And I think if you've experienced a miracle, if you have something that you know could encourage someone, like you said, Lauren, I feel like every day we need just a little reminder to keep going. Every day we need that. So we will be right back. I'm so excited to bring Martha up and have Martha and Lauren share with you just a little bit more of our final thoughts in just a moment. So we will be right back.
Get ready for all new episodes of the Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show.
All right, so I have with me, and I don't know if it kind of cut, so let's see. So I have Martha rushing today, and Martha's story is truly, truly, truly a miracle. It is a miraculous story of overcoming, and I'm actually going to let her share, and I don't know if she just went out. So while we wait on Martha, I'm going to share with you all the all-new Be Inspired Born to Soar edition of the Amplify Her magazine, which Lauren actually shares an article in that. And the way that you can get that is going to borntosoarconference.com to get your hands on a copy of this magazine. And this is just a little snippet about what's to come on it.
Give me the words to say and I'll say it. Relay a song to me and I'll play it. 'Cause I feel a lot of pressure and expectations. I just want to exceed all my limitations. 'Cause if it's you that'll carry me through, I know that. And if you say that I am yours and I can trust you, I got you. I'ma depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. Follow my beating heart. That's what it was made to do. That's what it was made to do. All of my mind. That's what I'm strong for. That's what I'm strong. I gotta depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. I'ma depend on you. Don't be afraid of men in their faces. Whatever's in your heart, I put there for you to say it. I know that you are tad afraid of expectations. Just as long as you're in me, there's no limitations. 'Cause if it's you that I'll carry through, just know that I got you. And if you say that I am yours, okay. I got you. 'Cause I'ma depend on you. That's what I was made to do.
All right, welcome back. So I'm going to actually bring Lauren back up, and we're just going to talk a little bit more about what it means to step out and how I want to hear like a few more of her miracle stories. So I'm not sure. I think Martha was having a little difficulty. So we'll see. Hopefully Martha can come back and share her story as well. So Lauren, I know that you said that you have hundreds. When was that moment for you that you knew it was something that was beyond you and something that you actually wanted to be able to share with other people?
Actually, that happened for me at a very young age. It happened for me when I was 13. And I had experienced, a really profound trauma in my young life. And I felt like God was talking directly to me, and that, I know God was talking directly to me, and I was just told I was going to be okay and everything was going to work out. I'm happy to share that story, but that was the moment.
Yes. So actually, I'm going to toss this out there. You shared your story on the Born to Soar conference stage with our Stand on Your Story. So if anyone wants to hear Lauren's powerful story, you can go to amplifyher.tv. So get some popcorn, get something, sit down and listen to this. So, Lauren, what would you say? What's that one thing? Because I think by you just trusting your path, trusting God and walking it out, that's how you've come to the place that you are in now. What's that one thing that you think could get in the way for someone that has an idea, something that they really need to step out on, but they're hesitant to really step out? What do you hold on to that helps you keep going?
I think the number one thing I hold on to in life to help me move through with some ease is just knowing that the resources that I need are always going to be there if I'm truly following my heart. And if I'm truly choosing to live the purpose that I'm here to live and to follow what I feel God is leading me to do, then I don't have to worry about how it's going to get out there or who I'm going to meet or how am I going to spread the word or build a list. Like, I don't worry about any of that stuff. It's just strictly following my heart.
I love it. So this is something that's really good because I plan to talk about this in a second too. But I know like when many of us when we have that balance, like you said, just trusting God and following God in the process. But I feel like one of the things that you do such a good job of, I'm so glad you said that, is that you show up so that when the opportunities come, they don't pass you by. And I find that a lot of people use that as a crutch to not even show up. They're like, well, if God wants me to do it, the door is just going to open. I guess like, the show's going to bust through your living room door and beg you to be on and all of these things without you doing any work on your part. So what would you say to finding that balance, like faith with works? Because faith without
works is dead.
Yes. So how do you find that balance of, even though like God brings those opportunities to you, what would you say to that person that's just sitting there and their reason is saying they're just waiting on God to bring the opportunity?
So the number one thing that I would say is that I understand that everything in my life, including the Little Miracles Everywhere project, is a project of co-creation, no matter what I do, whether that's raising my children or making dinner or, doing something, world changing. It's a process of co-creation. And the way that I know where my footwork is I literally pray and ask God, what would you have me do? And I wait for the answers. I wait for the signs or the knowing or the guidance. And that's what I follow. And boy,
Yes.
when I don't follow that, it's real obvious.
This is my mic drop moment. I had to get my extra mic out. Like that was the mic drop moment. Praying for that clarity. And I talked about this too, because I know like sometimes we struggle between what's a good idea versus a God idea. I hear that a lot. And I was just sharing this because usually when you start stepping out and you're doing what you need to be doing, there's no shortage of opportunities. Like it's like opportunities will come and come and come, but some opportunities that come your way are literally just distractions disguised as opportunity. And the only way that you can know, should I do it or shouldn't I, or is that something, is doing what you just said, like having that quiet time and lining up. So Stephanie actually asked a good question, and this is our Q&A portion. So perfect timing. She asked the question, Lauren, how do you know that you're listening to your heart? How do you know that?
A long time ago in my early 20s, I had a mentor who spent a few years teaching me the principle that any decision made from fear is not a spiritual aligned decision, because God is not of fear. So when I am going to make a decision, if I don't have peace about it, the first thing is, if I don't have peace, I don't move. And the second thing is I check my motives. Is it coming from fear or is it coming from love? And if it's coming from love, then I know that the voice in my head I'm listening to is God.
I love that you just said that too, coming from that place of fear and not having peace. Like so often when we find ourselves, this was a question that I asked before too. I think it kind of worked out that we can do this Q&A. How do you know when it's time? How do you know when it's time to push and fight and just like not be a quitter kind of thing? And how do you know when it's a sign for you to actually, like move away, like step away, let it go? So what's your answer to that question? Fight or faith? Like, how do you find that balance?
It's really interesting because I have a prayer that I've said for many, many years. And I say, God, if you don't want me to go in that direction, slam the door shut. Because if it's open a crack, I'm going to go get a crowbar. Because I think naturally I am an overcomer and I will push through. So I really ask for the peace. I really, really believe, my mother taught me when I was little, if you don't have peace, don't move. And I really believe in that. because sometimes you do got to push through, but you'll have peace about that inside if you know that's your direction.
That is such truth. And I know, like, one of the things my sister said this to me one time, because I was in that place. I'm like, I'm with you. I love that you said there's just a little crack. Like, just
I'll get a crowbar.
right, I'm coming through. And she said that, she was like, if you look at even just throughout stories in the Bible, for example, where they see it ahead of time. Like, many people sometimes are warned, or we get the vision ahead of time before it actually happens. And she said, if you haven't recovered all, if you haven't seen it to the full capacity that you initially had the vision for, typically that's our sign. Like, don't settle and be okay. Or, like you said, living in fear, or thinking we're not good enough, or all these things that we can let get in the way. So gosh, Lauren, this is so good. I'm like, I have 8,000 questions, but we only have a few more minutes left. What would you say? What would you say to that person that is in that place where they do have the peace about it, but they're a little nervous that the resources may not show up? Because I know you probably have a gazillion stories of where it was down to the wire, and just like you thought, it all worked out. So do you have a story that everything worked out even when it was down to the wire?
I do. And I want to say one thing to something you just said. You said if we're worthy. And right before we started, I don't even know why I wrote this, but I wrote a Post-it note that said, you don't get to decide if you're worthy. God already decided that when he sent you here. And that is just such a powerful thing that I want to share with you guys. And yeah, I feel like if you're in a place where you're worried about the resources coming up, that's definitely not from love. That's from fear. Worry is another word we use for fear. And so at that point, it's just about praying for God to bring you that comfort and that trust, and to deepen that in your relationship. Prayer is where we talk, and meditation is where we listen. And that's how we take our soul to the gym, so to speak. So whenever we're feeling a little weak in an area, that's where we get to go inside of ourselves.
Yeah, and I feel like also it's training ground. I think about anything that I've been called to do. A lot of times we want to skip steps. I love actually what Stephanie said too. Basically, we can't push through God's will, and we want to skip steps, but we don't realize it's in those challenges. It's when maybe the resources aren't there, or maybe something traumatic happened, or maybe some challenge came up. You hit the nail on the head. It's a spiritual workout, because the things that tripped you up 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, you're not even going to flinch. I've had so many technical difficulties in this one episode, like just this episode, not another one years ago, today. And I'm like, part of the reason that I didn't flinch has nothing to do with me. I'm like, man, I've had worse happen. So I'm just like, pivot,
Yeah.
think about that. Yeah. It's because it's training ground. So I want to just do like our final thoughts of the day. What's that one thing, if you had to say that one thing that you want people to leave with when they come in contact with you, when they come in contact with little miracles everywhere? What do you hope they walk away with?
What we want you to walk away with is knowing that you're loved, and knowing that there is love all around you, that your path has been laid out before you, and that everything that you want and need and desire and you dream of is possible if you just go within, if you just are willing to see, and if you just look around you, you will find that gorgeous, amazing miracle in your life.
So good, so good. And I'm gonna actually highlight again. Stephanie is in the in our live audience preaching. Worry is like praying for what we don't want, and that's what my final thought is today. A lot of times we know what we don't want, but we spend so much time, as you said, Lauren, hashing over, worrying about the resources that aren't there, and thinking about those things that is literally, it's almost like you're lining yourself up to receive those very things, because you're just thinking about that and you're meditating on that. And I would challenge you to get into a place of prayer and focus on what you actually desire to see take place in your life. So I'm going to do a quick giveaway per usual. And today's giveaway is a 21-day focus fast. It's a program, digital course that you can hop in, take it. And I challenge you every single day, because I feel like how you live your day sets you up for the rest of your life. So we will be giving that away. All you got to do is comment. Completely exciting to take part. I'm about to show you this quick commercial finish. That is not the giveaway. I'm giving away the Focus Fast. So I'm not confusing you. But I'm going to share with this. And when I come back, you have time to comment so that you can get the winner.
Get your copy of my all-new book, Finished, where you can transform your life and get projects done in as little as 7 days. Go to ericalatrice.com.
All right, so it's time for our winner. If your name comes up next, congratulations to Stephanie. You are the winner of the 21-day Focus Fast. All that you'll have to do is email me at info@ericalatrice.com to get your copy of the book. Lauren, I want to say thank you so much. I think it was meant for you to be on for the entire show. That's why it worked out this way. So thank you so much for taking time out to be on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, for all of you watching, you can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. If this encouraged you, if this inspired you, tag a trailblazer and share it with a friend. Go out and make today amazing, and look for some little miracles everywhere, because it is absolutely a choice. Take care.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.